During World War II naval warfare, much of the focus was often placed on battleships and aircraft carriers, with destroyers frequently overlooked despite their vital contributions. At the Buzz, we believe it's time to give these ships the recognition they deserve. So today we're diving into the top 10 heaviest and biggest destroyers of World War II era. So let's get started. Number 10. Guepard Class. This class consisted of 6 destroyers built for the French Navy which saw action in World War II. The first of its class was commissioned in 1929. The class was designed to combine speed with heavy gun armament to overpower lighter destroyers. Their armor was minimal, focusing on protecting machinery and magazines. They carried 5x138mm guns, torpedoes, and anti-aircraft weapons. The ships measured 130 meters in length and had a full load displacement of 3,220 tons, making them the lightest among the top 10. Their heavy weight came from large guns, machinery, and fuel for extended operations. These destroyers could reach speeds of 35.5 knots, excelling in Mediterranean fleet actions. Number 9 on the list for the top 10 heaviest and biggest destroyers of World War II is the Shimakaze class. This Japanese-class destroyers were super destroyers, where first of its class was commissioned in 1943, built as experimental vessels for massive torpedo attacks against Allied fleets. They had very light armor, relying on speed and offensive weapons for survival. Their armament included 15x610mm torpedo tubes and 6x127mm guns, along with light anti-aircraft defenses, making them extremely formidable. At 129.5 meters long and full load displacement of 3,353 tons, they were heavy mainly due to the massive torpedo armament and reinforced hull. They could achieve speeds of 41 knots, among the fastest destroyers of the war. At number 8, the Fantasque Class. This was a class of 6 large destroyers commissioned in 1936, designed for speed and heavy artillery to counter Italian and German destroyers. Armor was minimal, prioritizing speed and firepower. Their main armament consisted of 5x138mm guns, torpedoes, and limited anti-aircraft guns. They measured 132.4 meters in length and displaced 3,417 tons, making them exceptionally heavy for a pre-war design. Speed exceeded 37 knots, supported by powerful engines and large fuel stores. Their heavy displacement came from machinery, guns, and operational endurance. They served in the Mediterranean, excelling in both fleet actions and commerce raiding. The 7th biggest and heaviest destroyer class of World War II is the Battle Class. The British Battle Class destroyers were commissioned in 1944 as specialized anti-aircraft escorts for fleet carriers and convoys. Their armor was limited, mainly around magazines and machinery, while the focus remained on heavy anti-aircraft power. They carried 2 twin 4.5-inch turrets, torpedoes, and extensive anti-aircraft batteries. Measuring 116 meters in length and displacing 3,430 tons, their heavy weight was driven by armament, radar, and ammunition storage. They could reach 35.5 knots, enabling effective fleet operations. The 6th biggest and heaviest destroyer class of World War II is the L&M Sumner class. Built by the United States and commissioned starting in 1943, were an evolution of the Fletcher class with enhanced firepower and twin 5-inch turrets. Armor was minimal, protecting critical areas, while allowing for more guns and anti-aircraft systems. They carried 6x5-inch guns, 12 torpedo tubes, and a heavy anti-aircraft suite. They measured 114 meters in length and displaced 3,515 tons, making them heavier than previous U.S. designs. Weight increased due to additional armament, radar, and fire control equipment. Their speed reached 34 knots, balancing mobility with firepower. They served in Pacific operations as versatile fleet escorts and anti-submarine platforms. Number 5. The Guepard Class. This class of destroyers were first commissioned starting in 1945 and were an extended version of the Fletcher class designed for long-range operations in the Pacific. Armor was minimal, protecting only vital machinery spaces. Their armament included 6x5-inch guns, torpedoes, and an advanced anti-aircraft suite. At 190 meters long, with a full load displacement of 3,520 tons, they were among the heaviest U.S. destroyers. The extended hull increased fuel capacity and stability, contributing to their weight. They could reach 36.8 knots, maintaining speed despite additional displacement. Equipped with advanced radar and sonar, they were versatile in AA, ASW, and fleet escort roles. Heavy displacement allowed endurance for extended Pacific campaigns. The fourth biggest and heaviest destroyer class of World War II is the Type 1936B. These were German destroyers commissioned in 1943 to improve stability over the 1936A design. While retaining heavy firepower, they had minimal armor but reinforced hulls for seaworthiness. Their main armament consisted of 5x127mm guns, torpedoes, and anti-aircraft guns. They were 127 meters long and displaced 3,599 tons. Their weight resulting from heavy armament and reinforced hulls. Speed reached 36 knots, allowing them to operate in North Sea and Atlantic conditions. Advanced fire control systems enhanced gun accuracy and coordination. Number 3 on the list for the top 10 heaviest and biggest destroyer class of World War II is the Akizuki class destroyer. These were Japanese anti-aircraft destroyers first commissioned in 1942, built to protect carriers and fleet formations from attacks. Armor was minimal, focusing on weight savings for long-range operations. Their primary armament included 8x100mm dual-purpose guns, torpedoes, and anti-aircraft defenses. They measured 134 meters in length and displaced 3,700 tons at full load. Heavy due to dual-purpose guns, fuel, and advanced fire control systems. Speed reached 33 knots. Their large displacement reflected the need for armament, endurance, and stability. At number 2, the Zerstörer 936A, the Type 936A naval class. These were German destroyers first commissioned in 1940, designed for heavy surface engagements and to dominate the North Sea and Atlantic. Armor was limited, with light deck and side protection for machinery. They carried 5x150mm guns, torpedoes, and anti-aircraft weapons. Measuring 127 meters and displacing 3,800 tons, they were heavily armed for their size. Speed reached 36 knots, allowing tactical flexibility in fleet operations. Stability issues were present due to heavy guns on a relatively narrow hull. Their heavy displacement came from armament, torpedoes, and fuel stores for long-range operations. And now the biggest and heaviest destroyers of World War II is none other than the Mogador class. The Mogador class were French super destroyers commissioned in 1939, designed to counter large Italian destroyers and light cruisers with extreme speed and firepower. Armor was minimal, mainly protecting machinery spaces, prioritizing guns and speed. They carried 4x138mm guns, torpedoes, and anti-aircraft defenses, measuring 137.5 meters and displacing 4,018 tons. They were the heaviest destroyers of World War II. Their massive displacement allowed them to combine large guns, extensive torpedo armament, and fuel for long-range operations. Speed reached 39 knots, impressive for a destroyer of this size. They were essentially cruiser-sized destroyers, emphasizing offensive power and operational endurance. With this, guys, we the Buzz were signing off for today, but we'll bring you more interesting videos every week, so stay tuned. Until then, bye-bye.